Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with another tutorial or a craft with me. This is a project that I've done before, but I did it a lot differently and quite some time ago. So I originally watched this video over on with Heather over at Ruby and Pearl, where she, do I have the original one that I did? I don't know what I did with it. So in the original video that I watched, I'm so sorry to be already waffling, Heather used an envelope, and basically what she did with the envelope is she opened it up, she unsealed the adhesive here, folded the main flap back, and then these tips came out and we put eyelets here as kind of a faux closure. I did do one. I don't know what I did with it because I put it away because I didn't want to do it on camera. This is my first video in a couple of weeks, so I'm a little bit rusty and still not feeling well. I've got the next batch of whatever crud is going around. So I thought we would do something a little bit different and use actual digitals, use my envelope punch board, which I just set aside, my envelope punch board, and make them so that they already have all the papers already on them. Because when you do them using an envelope, you have to think about like what kind of papers do you want in each part of this envelope? Because this would be a pattern, this would be a pattern, this would be a pattern, the base would be a pattern, this would be, and then so on and so on. And it's a lot of paper. I had to print out in my prototype like 8 different pieces of paper, and I'm like, there's got to be a better way. And especially because I'm not at the top of my game, so I thought I'm gonna do what is more easy for me. So I hope that it will still inspire you. And I do want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, those of you who have been watching some of my older videos as I've been just down and not able to get in the studio and create. I'm hoping that this video will be something that will get me going again. So anyway, this is what we did. So I made 2 of them off camera. So this is my favorite. So I will unclip it here in a second, but that's one side, and then that's the other side, and this is obviously for the Bohemian Beauty Journal. And so you don't have to untie this because it's not an actual closure that's keeping anything in place. It's just decorative. So if we pull this out, and we're going to pull this paper clip off, and what's on the back, maybe we will, maybe we won't. And that comes out and that comes out. So this is essentially the base. So I wanted my envelope to be 4 by 6 in finished size. So that meant that my paper size needed to be 8 1/4 by 8 1/4, so squared. And then I scored it at 3 3/8 on the punch board, which I'll show you in a second. And then I cut this edge off because it's similar to this and I didn't want that. And so that's what I did. And so I flipped this one back and I printed the digital, the same kit, but different papers from it so that I would get a little bit of a different look. So as you can see, this one's got a lot of pink and blue in it, kind of a teal. And then the other one has similar colors, just a different pattern. And I thought that worked out really well. And then I just put this little piece of lace there, some seam binding. And so then over on this side, these 2 journal cards go in here. And I thought those girls went perfect with the tones of this. And then I just took this journal card. Oh, I still have my parchment in there, because I glued on my quote, "Be a voice," and we've got that little beautiful girl there. And so this clips on here and holds this whole thing closed on this side. So kind of a nice little look. And then on this side, well, I guess we should have put the other cards back in first. And then on this one, I created one with the tab and then some other little bits of ephemera to go in there. So again, another very easy, low profile kind of project that I think you guys will enjoy. And you can use any digital paper you want. You could use anything you want. You could do it with this as well. Again, the only thing you keep in mind is every one of these sides and sections in my prototype and in when I did it in the past was a different paper. So you can play around with that too. It's a neat process as well. Just more than I could do right now. So that's my first prototype. And this is the one that's for the Romance in Paris journal. And I love how this one turned out. I put this little bit of lace on here. Again, clipped this card. And then it's got stuff in this pocket. I'm not going to undo it. You'll see that. You'll be able to see that in the photos at the end. Put some more of that lace on this side of this card. And then, yeah, so really, really pretty. So this looks, why does this look different on this side? What the what? I need to undo it because now I'm confused. I'm confused. Oh, because it's backwards. That's interesting. So it goes like that. And oh, I know what I did. So I just wanted an extra card. That's why I was confused. So all the goodies are in here. And then this one I clipped inside of here. And then I used this to clip everything that's on the other side as well. So this is the other side with really pretty stuff there. And then that is holding it together with a piece of seam binding and a rusty paper clip. So that is our second one. So we're going to try to do two together. And this one's already been pre-cut. This one has not, because sometimes I like to show you from beginning to end. So this is the boho one we're going to be doing, but we will get to that in a moment. So let's work on this one. So I've got my basic supplies, my eyelet setter, a corner rounder, a ruler so I can give you some dimensions, my vintage photo archival ink, Fabri-Tac, and my eyelets for eyelet setting. So let's get going. So the first thing that we're going to do, I'm just going to push this stuff out of the way. And this is just the ephemera bits, which we'll talk about in a moment. But I've already cut this paper down to 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. Why does that not look square? All of a sudden it did not look square. But it's going to be okay, I promise. And so on my envelope punch board, in case you haven't seen one of these before, you basically want to look for what size you want your envelope to end up being. I hope you guys can see that. Probably not with my autofocus off. So basically I'm looking at card size. I want my card size to be 4 by 6. And that means my paper size is 8 1/4 by 8 1/4, and my score line is 3 3/8. So I'll show you that here. I need that. And then I didn't really care about what the orientation was on this. This one I printed one digital. This is a new digital I just picked up because I wanted something with a little bit more grungy interest for some background papers for the Romance in Paris journal. So I did that one on that side and that one on that side. So we're just going to start scoring. So I'm lining this up, the paper edge here to 3 3/8, which is just shy of 3 1/2. And I'm going to go ahead and, oh, I need my score tool here. It's after work, but I thought I just need to break the ice and just get in here and do it. I've been coming home from work and sleeping and lazing around. And so I really want to get back in here, but I've just had a really hard time. I'm very fatigued. Whoops, that didn't work out so well. Let me try that again. There we go. I've been very fatigued and just don't do anything when I get home. I'm lucky to get a meal made. It's just been crazy. So we're just going to continue on and do all that. We punch that corner, then we draw the line. I didn't explain that. You guys have seen me do that before, so maybe I'll slow down on the second one so that I can explain that a little bit better. That was kind of poor teaching on my part. Another punch. And somebody told me I could start here, but I can never get it to meet. Like, I mean, can I try it and see if it'll meet? Oh, it did. It did. It never works for me. Somebody said start from the corner in that initial press, so that worked okay. And then one more. That was a little off, but that's okay. Perfection is not at play in the studio. I don't worry about it. So we're just going to set that aside. And then we're just going to fold it, following all of those those score lines. I want my other one. I have a favorite bone folder, but it's somehow buried in this dish here, and I'm not sure. Oh, there it is. So it's got just a funny shape. I enjoy a lot more, so because I can use that tip. So we're just going to score these really well, and then we're going to ink it, and then we'll be able to move on to the next step. I shared in a community post that the part 1 for the Gentleman's Faith Journal, I'm starting it over because when I went to try to cover that folder with paper, it was an absolute disaster, and I just cannot bring a disaster to you guys. So I will be redoing that, and I've come up with a different process that will be easier for me as well as easier for you, so that we can continue together on that project. So then the other thing you want to do is decide what you want to have be the outside and what you want to have be the inside. I do have a little bit of white showing. I'm not concerned about that. I will ink it up. I think I want that to be the inside. So basically you can kind of look at it like this and say, oh, is that the look I want? Or let's do it the other way. Turn it over, fold everything the opposite way, and see if you like that better. This is a little bit duller in my opinion. I would pull that one out and go like that. So I don't like that as much. So again, sorry for the flipping. We're going to turn it back. So the other thing that I did is once I decided which was going to be my main flap and which is the one I wanted to cut off, then I basically turned it, sorry again for the flipping, we're going to turn this this way, fold everything in together, and then I just used my ruler, if I can get a hold of it, and I just want, so see where these points meet right here and right here? I'm going to draw a line from one point to the other just so I get a straight cut on that. And I'm just using the edge of my ruler to the edge of this envelope to make it straight-ish. Like so. And then we can just chop that off. Didn't even grab my scissors. So as some of you know, if you've been following along in social media and stuff, we did get our Starlink installed. It's going to be epic. I did a couple of test uploads with old videos, and yeah, it's definitely a game changer. So I'm super excited to see how long this video is and how long it takes to upload. So we're going to go ahead and ink this up, and I'll be right back. So I tend to ink everything just because I don't always think about what's going to show. You could be evaluating that a little bit more and determine if there's any of these bits that don't actually need to be inked because they're going to be on the inside, but it's just ink. I don't really worry about it. So that looks to be pretty good. Get this last side. Okay. So once that's on, then we're going to go ahead and do, what I did, I forgot to round that corner. So I'm going to use my corner rounder, and I'm going to use the 10 millimeter and just round that off. I don't like that squareness, so let's just do that and be happy with that. Okay, so again, get it back into your position so that your sides that you want to have out are out. So we're going to go ahead and close that up. And these are going to come down, and then this is going to be turned to the back. And so that's what it looks on the front, like on the front, and that's what it looks like on the back. Kind of cool. So let's go ahead and do our eyelets here. I don't, again, worry about perfection. My holes were not exactly straight on my prototypes, or on my other samples, but I don't worry about it. So I'm going to go ahead and punch a hole in the tip of each of these, and I'm just going to try to get it in about the same spot, but I don't worry about it. Not too bad. You could of course mark it if precision is more important to you. Okay, not bad. Set our eyelets. So when you set the eyelets, you do want to make sure that you didn't flip anything, because you want the front of your eyelet to be on this side, since that's our top. So I'm just going to make sure that I get that back in position before I go on. Okay, and then we're just going to set that. I would say if you can make the investment, this little thing is the best. I have the huge crocodile and I never use it. It's just too big and too cumbersome. So this one is, I use it every day when I'm creating. Okay, it didn't set very well, but so it goes. Okay, so let's grab a little bit of seam binding. I think I'm going to grab some cream. I forgot to get that out. So let's just use the cream. I think that would be the best today. And we're going to go ahead and put this on right now, because again, it's not a closure per se. I mean, you could make it a closure. You could have it be able to be opened up completely and everything on the inside written on, but that's not what I'm going for here. So let's just thread this through. So again, a much faster way to get the same result or the same look as you get with the envelope. This envelope, it's like a business envelope. And the other thing I didn't like in my prototype is this showed and I didn't like it. So I'm like, how could I do that differently? So there we go. Let's see what ephemera we have to play with here. Beautiful. I'm sweating up a storm here because I've been turning the fan off so it doesn't reflect on my surface. And now I'm sweating. Okay, so we've got a bunch of ephemera because this will hold a ton. So we've got big cards and we've got some smaller ones. So let me just see what we want to do. I just pulled a bunch of them out. I'm not necessarily going to use them all, but we just have, it looks like one card to go in this pocket and then one larger card to go back here. So let's start with that. I'm just debating. I think I want to round the corners on all of these. Okay, let's just do a quick ink up here. I know I say this every time, but I sure love the brown against the blues in these digitals. It's so beautiful. Okay, so that one can go here. Doesn't really go with this paper, but you know, it is what it is. After I purchased it and printed it out, I'm like, oh, that didn't have the baby blues that I had hoped for. I might look for another one. It's something I can always use if I'm doing a journal that has those kind of pastel blue tones, but it's okay. I wonder if this one would be better here because it's got some greenery in it. I don't know. I think that one is better there. And then we'll turn this one over, and then this one's going to slide in here. Hopefully it's going to fit. Yep. Slides right in there. And then we've got a couple of other tags and things that we can use. So I thought we could put one of these in here as just an extra piece in this front pocket. So I'm just going to ink that up really quick. I can ink the backs later. I'm not concerned about that. We're going to slide that in there. Kind of gets lost a little bit, but that's okay. And we've got another, I think I want to use a different card as well. Maybe this one. We'll just leave this one square. I'm loving these papers so much. So we'll just, maybe we'll slide that one in that way. Yeah. You can't really see the picture, so it's fine. And everything's going to be kind of pinned in place with a paper clip anyway. So we're going to turn this over and we're going to stuff some things in here as well. So I do want this one. I really like this tag with the Eiffel Tower. So let's just get that one prepped. And then we'll just set that there. Actually, I think I was thinking that this one would be kind of cool on there, but then I also thought this little lady would also be really pretty. I think the lady. It seems more good for that size, or this space rather. So we'll put that there. And let's just go ahead and put all this in here. We'll just stick that one there. And I really like this one, so I'm going to go with it. I was unsure what I wanted, so I picked a bunch from my Fussy Cuts. There we go. So can we stick that one where that would be weird? No, I don't think that looks weird. Let's stick that one sideways. And then we'll put this one here. And I'm going to grab a rusty paper clip here. Yes, hoping I can get my fingers on a small one. They're kind of down here in a container, which was not my brightest move. Those are all big, so we need to find a small one. So they're in this thing, and they're all connected, so it's like, it's really hard to get them out without dumping everything. You know how small things settle to the bottom, so that's what I'm experiencing here. There's a small one. Okay. All right, so let's just go ahead and stick that on. And so, because I want to show you what I mean by this paper clip really holding everything in place. So, come on, there we go, like that. And then that's all. Now those aren't gonna, well, they're not really in place. I could kind of go like this with these and kind of utilize that paper clip there and just slide this one under as well. Sorry, that's close to my body, like so. So let's put a little bit of seam binding on there as well. Hopefully this piece is long enough just to give it a little bit more frill. And then I've just got a couple of little pieces of ephemera I'll put on the front, but I'm going to save that for off camera because I want to show you the boho one really quick as well, because we're already 20 minutes in. So yeah, this is plenty long, Cara-Renee. Plenty long. I fell on my behind today. So I work with a student in a wheelchair, and when I get him in his chair and then I have to strap his feet in, and I get down on my haunches, and I usually do pretty good. I'm pretty strong in that part of my body, and I fell hard on my butt, and it was for all to see that were present. It's not my best moment. So let's pull this one over. I'm excited to do this one with you guys. So I've got a bunch of stuff. This is that, I think I've showed you guys this before. It's from an old scarf, and it's just the right thing for this boho journal. So this is all of my ephemera bits. So I'm going to, again, just put them off here to the side. And this is the paper I chose. So it's got this print on one side and this print on the other side. So I am going to just turn to my cutter, and I'm going to trim this down to 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. There we go. So I was trying to cut off, it got a little uneven. I was trying to cut off even amounts off of each side, but it did not work out so well. So again, it was same process. So we're just going to stick this in here, and we're going to score it. And this is the score line markers over here. So I'm looking for 3 3/8. So I'm just going to go ahead and give that a score. This one's going to be trickier to see. In fact, is it better on the, nope, it's not better on the other side. Sometimes the other side of the paper you'll be able to see it better, but this is going to be a test. So I'm just running my, my score tool up this line. And again, it didn't work. So I don't know why this is so hard for me, but it is. Okay, so I can see it okay. So I don't know if you guys can see that score line. It's running right here. So I think I've mentioned before, when I first got my envelope punch board, I had to watch a YouTube tutorial because I had no idea how to use it. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I felt really silly when I couldn't figure it out, but that's just not how my brain works. I have a creative mind. I don't have a technical mind. Okay. And then let's go ahead and just clip our corner. Well, I want to use the same size, so that one has the rounder on it, but I don't tend to use it. So let's go ahead and just fold this up and see where we land. This is very, very busy pattern. And I love it. I think I'm going to want that pattern on the inside just from looking at what this looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it the other way. Yep, I can already see I like that better. My very first prototype I did with the envelope, I didn't use it because I printed just a coffee dyed paper on the inside and I didn't like it. I was like, it's too plain. So these are actually, don't think I mentioned it, they're meant to just be a clip-on, so they can just be paper clipped onto a page. So let's go ahead and, shall we turn it the other way this time? I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? So the first thing we're going to do is open it up and we're going to make our line to cut this off. So again, I'm just lining up. It's hard for you guys to see because of all the color here, but I'm this point, and I'm just making a line to those points, and I'm using the edge of the envelope and my ruler to do that. And I'm gonna just use my pencil. There we go. So the next video, I hope to do part 1 again of the Grungy Gentleman's folio journal. So that's one of my big goals, is to get that one back up on the channel. I did change the title, or added a revision to the title of the original one so that people will know that I am doing it again. Okay, so let's go ahead and round this corner. Okay, and I don't think this really needs inking much at all because it's so dark. So I think I'm going to skip the inking this time. Isn't that something? Or I have another idea. Let me get my teal, or that kind of a cobalt color of ink that I've used in a past video. So let me get it here really quick. The Distress, or the Archival Ink Mermaid Lagoon. Let's do that. I think I have a dauber in here too that I saved, so let me grab that. There we go. I love these little containers because I purchased them in all the different sizes, and it helps me keep everything for a project together. And since I, don't use colors very often, it's nice to just have that. So let's just ink this up really quick. Oh yeah. I don't recall if I've mentioned it before, but I do plan on doing some mixed media work in the boho journal. I think it would be a great place for us to play with some techniques in mixed media. So, but that is yet to come. So let's go ahead and, so that's going that way, that way, that way, and look at the Mermaid Lagoon just gave this really cool blue accent to the edges, and then this is going to fold back on itself like that. That's so cool. I think this needs a little bit of ink too. My apologies, guys. I forgot that that's going to be shown. It's going to be seen, so it needs to be a little bit spruced up here. There we go. Love it to death. Okay, so this way. Right, yep, like that. So let's go ahead and do our eyelets again. So I'm just going to speed through that process. You watched that already once. I've been asked to participate in 2 collaborations, so I'm excited and nervous both because it's been a while, and doing Christmas ones is a lot harder for me, but I'm gonna do it. There we go. It's just a one-day project, so not a big deal. So there is that. So let's look at some seam binding. I'm just going to turn to my drawer. I feel like this this color that I used on my prototype is the best. I get these from My Scrap Cabin, and I love the rich teal of this. It's kind of like a cobalt turquoise color. So we're going to go ahead and just feed that through. I had this whole dinner planned for tonight, but I thought I had shredded cheese or cheese, and I don't, so I'm going to have to whip something up for my husband tonight. I came home all gung-ho. I was going to do the recipe, and I don't have everything I need. And I don't live close to town, so I don't just zip out. I try to do those things on my way home. So there we go. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, I love that color so much. Okay, so let's look at the ephemera that I picked. So I've got a couple of quotes, got some beautiful cards. These are just gorgeous, and I will link all of these. Now, I think it's these ones that the maker that I bought it from, they're no longer in her shop, so I don't know what the deal is with that, but that's the deal. These are from Wild Rose Bohemians, both of these, and I love that so much. Magical. This is from a different seller. They're a PNG file of Bohemian Women, and we'll cut that down, and then this is the same as that one. So I've got a lot here, so we might not use all of it, but we'll see. So let's see what we need our sizes to be. This is a lot. I don't really need 4 pieces. I mean, this many pieces. So let's pick one of these outdoor pictures for each side. So we'll do that and that. And then I definitely want to use, I want to use her. So we use her over here, and we'll use her over here. And that's 2 cards. And then we could use this as our little thing on the flappy. And then we might add those, we'll see. So as you can see, this one is too wide, so I need to cut her down. I didn't even think about that, so let me do that really quick. I think I want her right there on the front too. So I think I want to use a different corner rounder here. Sometimes I like to go with this kind of, let's see, I need to empty this, but I'll show you what corner rounding it does, or what shape it does here. Let's ink her up and I'll show you. And again, I'll ink some of these on the back later, but I think I want to put some seam binding on this today. So, but isn't she just gorgeous? But look at those edges. They're just a little bit different. So different than a rounding, simple rounding. So let's stick her in there. I'm probably going to put a whale tail tab, but I did not plan for that. So do I have a scrap? Let me see if I've got a scrap I can pull out of my Bohemian stuff here in my basket. I'm just going to have to cut into a whole sheet. I'm not worried about it at all. So I'm just going to fold a little piece of this over and grab my whale tail punch from the Sweet and Beautiful Shelly. So let's see what colors we want to have in here. I think I want this end down here. I'll probably take this whole sheet and make a bunch of whale tail punches, taps later. Oops, on the floor. Not where I wanted it. Okay. Oh, this is a perfect one. Love that design. I don't tend towards the really crazy colors, but this has been a lot of fun. So I'm just going to glue this on the edge of her card there, the card there. Motorcycles outside. So it's been raining like cats and dogs here, and then this afternoon it's all sunny and beautiful. So it's like, oh, weather in the Pacific Northwest is always very interesting. Okay, there we go. So I'll probably put a oh, we need to ink that. That's bothering me because I got a little bit of a white edge, but we can do that now. Yeah, it works out okay. So that's going to stick in there. Oh, that's really pretty. Really, really pretty. And I want this card too. So we'll do the same. We'll go ahead and use our little special punch. Corner punch. I loved that she introduced some nature stuff into the kits because I think it's a really good element. And I'm wondering if we can ink this up with some of the teal, if that would even show, or this, what's it called? Mermaid Lagoon. I don't know if it'll even show. Oh, it is. Yay. Not super obvious, but I can see it from my vantage point here. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but no bother. Let's stick that behind that card. It's almost too tall, Cara-Renee. Almost too tall. There we go. Fits in there perfectly, though. Okay, so that's one side. I don't know why it's making that all cattywampus, but oh, we got a little bit of ink on there. So let's finish stuffing this baby. So in here, I thought we would put her. And so we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and do the corners and ink these two pieces, and I'll be right back. Just inking these up with that Mermaid Lagoon. Oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous against her white dress. It's so pretty, and even the dark edges, you can see this color just singing. So we're going to put that in here. I might put another whale tail punch on there. I'm not sure. I can decide that later. And then the bubbles. I just love the bubbles. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Okay. So then we could use this one as our little thing here. So I think I would like to do that. So let's round those corners. I should have done that before I came back to you, but it's all good. Okay, I'll ink her up. We'll put a little bit of decoration on her. I think some kind of, maybe some of that trim over there or something else, whatever strikes my fancy. Look at it up against that tea stain paper. Oh my gosh, so gorgeous. So I had some votes on what people would like to have as the giveaway. Some people said the boho journal. Some people said the Romance in Paris journal. So I will be thinking about that and praying about what I want to do there. But let's see what of this we could use. It's very, very difficult to work with, so it unravels. So I'm going to see what we can make happen here. I don't know if we could just make a... So see how this part of it is more solid, which would work as well. But what do I want to do with it? I don't know. I'm not feeling it. It's one of those trims that's hard for me to use because it's just different. So let me cut it along this edge. And it really doesn't tear because it just shreds. It's like it just falls apart. I actually think this would be really pretty just on the side there. Yeah, I think I want to go this way so that I can control some of that unraveling. So I'm just going to use, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, doggone it. That's not going to work because I rounded those corners. So, maybe we could use a bit of this and make kind of a tab on it. Let's see if I can straighten this out and feel better about it. Feel better about it. Let's just do that. I'm going to overthink it. A little bit of glue right here. Could even kind of have it be bunched up a little bit. My creative flow is just not intact right now, so I do apologize if this is a little bit weird. There, that'll work. That'll do. And then we're just gonna wrap it around here. We'll cut off the excess, so I'll just put a little bit of glue here. And I do like to leave a little bit of it hanging over the edge, so it looks like it can be grabbed like a pull. It's a little bit tricky, like that. Okay. And then I'm just going to cut the excess off. I didn't really hold, did it? There's not glue in all the places that there needs to be glue. We need to fix that. I'm just gonna stick some glue in there. Let me grab a paper towel. That might help my life. Just press that down. Yeah. A little bit rough and rugged. I do want to kind of fold this one over a little bit if I can. Looks a little bit too pristine. I'm just going to pull that up and just kind of make it look a little bit more irregular. If I can. Yeah, like that. All right, but I want to put a gem on there, so I have to move some things out of the way to get my bling. I've got these circles that I just adore. So we're going to put that on there. And so I'm just going to use a little bit of Fabri-Tac just to make sure it sticks. And put it right there. Boom. So pretty. Look at that. So simple. I tend to overthink things, you guys, so I do need to get a piece of parchment because I'm going to kind of put this in place and I don't want it to stick to anything. So I'm just going to cut a little piece of parchment down like so, and then I'm just going to go like that. Parchment is a great tool in your studio. Because it can protect, so if you're working on something, you want to be able to move on, like if you're working in signatures. I use it a lot when I'm finishing a journal so that I can keep adding my ephemera in and not worry about pages sticking together or anything like that. So then she'll just sit on there like that. I almost feel like I need something to separate this, you know, because it's so dark. So let's get a little piece of this. I'm not very good at this, so you'll have to not laugh at me. The kind of crinkly seam binding thing that people do. I don't do it very well. And I'm going to stick this in here. And we're going to just put a piece right here. I'm just going to try to bunch it up as I can. Again, I'm not very good at it, so let's just see what we can do. So, because you don't want it to be all pristine, we want it to be all bunched up and roughly looking. Yvonne over at Memory Journals by Yvonne, I need to go back and watch her video. She showed in several videos, she's actually demonstrated this, but I haven't tried it, and it's one of those things where if I watch the video, I have to then do it so that I can make that happen. You know, I can make that make sense. And I'm hoping that that glue is not going to show when it's dry. I'm hoping. I didn't think about that because I can see it now and I don't like it. So let me just trim off this edge. I think it dries clear, but I'm not sure. Okay, so that's that. And then we'll just put her there. But now we need a bigger piece of parchment paper because I went way far in. So I'm just going to kind of sandwich her in there so I can just show you how she's going to clip on here. And so we can take another paper clip. Let's see if I can dig out another small one. There we go. Oh my goodness. We are coming up on a long video here. It will be edited down for you. In real time, we're already at 50 minutes, so not what I was going for. So we will stick that there, and that's just going to kind of be in here. So I'm going to slide that in there. Okay, like that. So the only other thing we need to do is put some words on here. We'll stick these, I'll stick these back in there later. And I had two quotes, one that is going to need to be cut down and one that will be fine. So I'm going to use this one as it is. Every mile a new story. Her soul thrives where the asphalt kisses the sky. I love that. Love it, love it. But do we want something under that? We could use some of this now though because we got it under. That's a little bit bold now that we're a little bit further in here. Well, this, it's a mess. This stuff is really hard to use, really hard to use. I want to pull off that really bright teal. I don't care for that. And then, yeah, let's use this. This will work now. We're just going to put that down. I'm going to have to trim off a little bit of that other color. I'm just going to put a little bit down here on the bottom. This glue string here. And let's just set that on there. It's okay. It looks really boho-ish. If I could figure out how to use it better, I've got a bunch of it. But that's really pretty. I like that. I like it. So let me show you. It just looks like nice and grungy and fun. And then just glue our quote on. And then we'll be just about done. We just got one more quote to put on the other side. Can I separate that at all? Can I? It's not quite wide enough. Yeah, there we go. Boom. She's on. She's going. Okay. Let's turn her over. So over here, you don't have as much space. So I'm wondering if we should just put it... I don't know what to do with that because it's on this side you don't have very much room. I think is what I was pondering was cutting off the edges of this and seeing if I could make that work. So let me do that really quick. That was not straight. And then we'll ink it up with that. Mermaid Lagoon. Actually, it looks really cool when I use the Mermaid Lagoon and Vintage Photo. It kind of makes this kind of interesting blend like that. Okay, so we'll just put that right there. Yeah, that'll work. I'm just not going to put it on this corner because it will hang over. Okay. Like so, and she can go right there at the bottom of that. Okay, guys, we are done for the day. I will post, there'll be photos at the end of the video so that you can see all of the pieces opened up with the ephemera showing, as well as the prototypes that I did. But I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.